So, vampires are back. There is absolutely no way that anyone can sit here and say that is not happening. I have seen things like people rereading Twilight for the nostalgia, or as first-time readers, it doesn't matter. And the fact that Twilight and Harry Potter are both getting series remakes means that we're now in a nostalgic era, 100%. And that is why I'm so glad to see that vampires are back. Vampires, for me, obviously being a Twilight movie girly, was absolutely in everything that I wanted to read, from the Wattpad stories I read, the werewolves, you know, Wattpad with werewolves and vampires and all of that jazz. And definitely unrealistic expectations when it comes to real world, because those stories are very much out there. And I decided, along with my friend Roseanne, who I'll have linked down below, that we're going to do a Vampires Are Back reading thing, where basically we read a couple of books that contain vampires and just talk about them. So there's going to be a lot of them, and yes, maybe Twilight will be in this video. We're hoping for a multi-part series, and the first book that we'll be reading is King of Battle and Blood. I've already finished this book. I absolutely devoured it. I read basically like 6 pages the one day, and then all of a sudden I just sat and I read the rest of it. If you don't know too much about this book, we follow Isolde, who is the princess of Alara, and we don't necessarily follow perspective-wise Adrian, but it does follow their story. King Adrian is known as a Blood King because he is a vampire, one of the original vampires that turned 200 years ago when there was a mass burning of witches. And Adrian is now committed to conquering the continent, and Alara is his next place to conquer. Alara is a kingdom. The minute he lays his eyes on Isolde, he says, I won't do anything to your kingdom if I marry the princess. And that's kind of how the story unfolds. I'm obviously reading King of Battle and Blood, and I'm about 70 pages into this, and I'm actually enjoying it so far. I don't know too much other than the fact that King Adrian is attempting to become the king of Cordovia, I think is the place. I'm really enjoying it. I'm keen to keep reading. My goal for today is to get to page 200, but we'll see how that goes. I'm reading it quite quickly, so I'm thinking I might be able to read more than that, but time will tell, because I have a lot of things I need to get through today, so we'll see how this all goes. But for now, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and read for a bit, maybe get to page 100, 150, and then maybe do something a little bit different. Very next day. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you haven't read Charlotte Sinclair, this is definitely more on the adult side of vampires. We have a lot of smut that happens in this book, but a lot of politics as well, which is something that I enjoy to read about, is political intrigue. And this book definitely has it. We have a lot of things that are being kept a secret. I do think that some of the things in here could have been fleshed out a bit more. It is definitely an enjoyable read. I couldn't put it down. I was absolutely in love with the relationship between Isolde and Adrian. I do think that it does get a little bit tropey in terms of like the fated mates kind of feeling. Kind of fall for each other pretty much instantly, and you later learn why. So there is some forgiveness in that aspect. This was just really enjoyable. If you're planning on picking it up, things you can look forward to are a very strong-headed female main character, a very herder, I'll kill you kind of love interest, and just a whole world of mystery, secrets, and magic, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. As I said, I really enjoyed this one. I absolutely love this book. I'm going to be giving it a 4, just because of what I said, where there are definitely some parts that I want a little bit more explained, but I'm definitely excited to pick up Queen of Myths and Monsters, which is the very next one in the series. There's no end, but it will be happening. And that was the start to our Vampires Are Back series. So I'm officially all cozy right now. I have a blanket on my lap. I'm probably gonna chuck on a jacket in a couple of seconds. I have some hot chocolate here, which is definitely a change from the coffee I had like maybe a half hour ago. But I'm about to jump back into From Blood and Ash, which I'm really excited for because I don't know, I have high expectations for this book. I'm hoping it works out because I love the covers for these books. They are so stunning and I kind of want to get them in hardcover, which is my whole ordeal with this. As I mentioned like 2 seconds ago for you, I'm on page 57 right now, about to start chapter 4. I'm going to quickly message my friend whilst I remember right now. If she wants to read a little bit further, maybe like an extra 50 pages today, then that's all good with me. I kind of want to power through this week because it's like a 600-page book and I have the stack that I also want to read. That's kind of where we're at the moment. But yeah, I think let's go ahead and get reading. I just wanted to come on here and say that I'm currently reading from Blood and Ash and I'm really enjoying it. It was quite a surprise because I didn't expect that I would. I kind of hoped, but I wasn't sure just based off of what people were saying. But I also know that this is like the best book in the series, also based on what other people have said. So I'm reading it on my Kindle. I'm about 150 pages in right now and I'm really enjoying how things are being presented to us. It's definitely a long book. It's about 600 pages. So we're really slowly being introduced to things and things are definitely picking up in pace at the moment. I suspect it's going to be a while before we see a lot of action and like really the plot of the story. Right now we're just learning a whole bunch of things, but I won't say anything more because my battery's about to die on my camera. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Honestly, I really like how we've been revealed to like the vampire-esque characters, so that's exciting. And yeah, I will update you when I have a little bit more to say, but there's a love interest and everything is going grand. So I have just finished From Blood and Ash and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a great fun read. Did I find it a little bit predictable? Yes, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. When it was revealed, I really enjoyed that there was something that I didn't predict. I think that this is a really fun series, well, fun book so far. I have bought myself a physical copy and I will be transferring all the things I've highlighted and tabbed and stuff into my book when it arrives, but I really enjoyed it and I think I'm going to order myself the next book that I would need to read after this. I just need to look up the reading order because there is one that you can follow. So I really am happy that I read this. This was really fun. It was so enjoyable. If you're looking for a book that has like some of your favorite fantasy tropes in it, like light fantasy, so you know, there are vampires, there are werewolves, essentially, they just called something different. And we obviously have the chosen one and we have a mysterious love interest, and that's all I'm gonna say. I really enjoyed this one. I thought the writing was a little bit clunky in the beginning, but I kind of got into the swing of it around the 20-30% mark and it got easier to read from that point onward. And yeah, it's quite a lengthy book, I will say. It's like quite long, but I liked the length of it. I think it really worked for this book. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing what the characters get up to next. Apparently the newest one, A Soul of Whatever, is from someone else's point of view, this book. So now I'm like, do I read that one before I read this one? So we'll see, because I'm not entirely sure, because I don't want that book to spoil something that I would need from like other books, because it could be like the Midnight Sun thing where it covers everything from that happened in the series. I'll see how it goes, but for now I am going to end the From Blood and Ash part here, and I think I'm going to rate it about a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's perfect, but I will be continuing on with the series. It just doesn't give me that wow 5-star feeling, but yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really glad I picked it up, and that is the next book. That is just our second book for this vampire series. I hope that you're enjoying it, and the next clip will be me starting the next book. Hi, hello. So this is, I'm hoping, the last book I have to read for this vlog. I don't know how many I've read of the vampire. I think I read, oh, this is only book 3. Okay, I have like one more to read, but I'm currently reading Crave by Tracy Wolff. This is obviously a vampire book because, you know, there's blood on the cover. I think it says so on the back, or I've definitely heard. Yeah, this is the lone mortal in an elite school for witches, shapeshifters, and vampires. So this is definitely cool. I'm on page 108 and I barely made a dent in this book, which is like 500 pages long, but that is not to say that I'm not enjoying it. I decided to tab this time around. So at about 100 pages in, we're still getting to learn the situation at the school. We're still getting to learn Grace as a character and kind of what her situation is right now. And basically we learn that her parents have died. So do keep that in mind when reading this, for trigger warning. Now being forced to move in with her only family, which is her uncle and her cousin, who live in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, basically. Finally being given a place like a time placement, which is around Halloween. But yeah, I'm really interested to keep reading this. As I said, I've read so much of this so far, but not a lot has happened. But that's not to say what I've read is terrible, because you know, it took me like less than an hour to read to this point, so the writing definitely flows. There's definitely some points where I'm kind of like, always get to the point. But yeah, I'm really intrigued. This book is like a 7-book series, I think, and they all like this thick. Also, we've been introduced to some male characters, one of which is obviously the cold-hearted, wants nothing to do with her, but you know, everything to do with her kind of guy, where the other guy is like super friendly and it's just like there to help her, and guy friend, boy next door kind of vibes. But yeah, I'm interested to keep reading this. I just have to put this down temporarily to catch up with another book, and then I will probably continue reading this if my friend is reading this still. Otherwise, it's going to be me this week, me and this book this week. I'm hoping that because of the like 100 pages I've just read, it will be easy for me to continuously read like 100 pages every day. And obviously not a guarantee. But yeah, that's the update I have for this. I don't really have much else to say other than I am keen to read, continue reading, and I'm interested to see where the story is going to go, especially since it's like 400 pages left of this book, maybe even more, because it's like nearly like 570 pages. So I have like 470 pages to go. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna spoil this out. I'm excited to keep reading this. I'll check in with you at another time. Hey, hi, hello. It's been a bit of a minute, but I have to update you on Crave. I somehow managed to read page 400 so far. I just can't stop reading this. It's like so fun. I don't know how to describe it. Like I wasn't, okay, so like this is what I was expecting. I was expecting a vampire book set in a boarding school, and that's it. And now that I'm reading it, I'm getting exactly that. I'm enjoying every second of it so far. Do I think this is the best thing ever? No. Do I think this is the most enjoyable thing I've read today? 100%. Do I really want to continue and see where this book ends? 100%. And I'm intrigued enough to read the rest of the series. I don't know if you ever read like House of Night, but it's kind of giving me similar vibes that also set like in a boarding school. But in this one we have more than supernatural race. We have shifters, we have witches, and we have vampires. And I just am enjoying this so very much. I think I have, let's see, I'm on page 400 right now. I have 171 pages left to read, which is a lot, but I'm just dying to finish this. As I mentioned, like it's just so enjoyable. It's everything that I hoped it would be, and it's just working for me. I think that's important to note, is like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work for everyone, but right now, in this very moment, it is working for me, and I'm enjoying myself immensely, and I can see why people really, really recommend the series on like TikTok and so on. It's because if you're not someone who typically reads often, the fact that even though this book is seriously chunky, you can just fly through it. It's such an appealing factor. Like I kid you not, I have read from page 180 to page 400 in like an hour. Like how is that even possible? Okay, maybe a bit more than an hour, but still the point remains is like this is just so easy to read. And for non-readers, it's easy to get into because like you're learning with the character and you're getting used to the world with the character, which I think is one of the best ways to be introduced to like non-real world places, even though it's set in our current reality with supernatural creatures. Like it just makes it a lot easier, and especially the way that we're learning things about the dynamics between each group. Like there's a lot we're learning, and I'm really enjoying this way. And this I definitely is like such a setup book, and I am just really enjoying this. I don't have other words for that, but it's just so enjoyable, and I'm gonna keep reading this. Yeah, this is a fantastic vampire book. I have no other words. I've been enjoying it. I think, what have I read so far? I read From Blood and Ash and King of Battle of Scars. King and Battle of Scars for me was so smutty. Like, if you're there for the smut, yes. Enemies to lovers, because that's actually what they are, 100%. And then From Blood and Ash is a lot more like slow paced, I would say. Kind of like not a similar vibe, but a kind of the same structure to this, in the sense of like you're also learning with the character. Poppy is definitely more plagued by like what's happened to her. She's also lost her parents. That's like our main character here. And in that one, I think we learn basically everything more towards the end, and for me, like From Blood and Ash is a little bit more about learning about the world and what we can expect from the dynamics and everything, whereas like this is like definitely more like YA. So I think From Blood and Ash is a little bit more adult to what this is. So if you're looking for a book that's younger, I mean, there are definitely some, I wouldn't say like smutty scenes, but definitely some like PDA scenes in this book, which might, I think this is like for 14-year-olds plus, I would say. I mean, from what I've read so far, it's like definitely 15, maybe 15 plus, whereas like Comic Blood and Ash is more like 18 plus. If I had to like do like age specific recommendations, that's how I would recommend it. This is definitely like more for teens, but not for tweens. Keep that in mind. But everyone has like their own maturity and their own level. Like if you can handle some kids making out, I think you'll be okay.